You're being hypnotized, not by magic, but by repetition. Notifications, headlines, endless scrolling. They pull your mind into loops. You don't need chains to bind you. Attention is the leash. AI is now shaping these loops around you. Your patterns, your fears, your desires. The spell is getting stronger. But remember this, hypnosis only works when you don't know you're asleep. The question is, will you wake up? Welcome to the Illumined Entrepreneurs. We will be learning metaphysical concepts, ideas, and principles, bridging the gap to make them easy to understand and practical to take action. There's a global epidemic, but it's not what you think. It's not a virus. It's not politics. It's what I call the epidemic of appearances. The world is bombarding you on a daily basis with what to think, what to fear, what to want. Your mind is being programmed, not by force, but by suggestion. And suggestion is more powerful than you realize. Let me show you. Whatever you do, don't think of a lemon, a bright yellow, juicy, tart, sour lemon. You can almost taste it, right? Now ask yourself, why did that image come up? Because I gave you a suggestion, and your mind created the image. That's how simple it is. Imagination creates reality. This is what Neville Goddard called the law of assumption. Your mind accepts whatever image it's given, and what you assume to be true, your subconscious begins to make it real. In the 1900s, a scientist named Ivan Pavlov made a discovery by accident. He noticed his dogs would salivate from a sound. He would ring a bell before feeding them, and after some time, all it took was the sound of the bell and they would salivate. No food, only the suggestion of it. Repetition rewires your brain. Just like inmates who've been in prison for decades, when they're finally released, something strange happens. They don't know what to do with their freedom. Why? Because for years they were told when to eat, when to sleep, when to wake. That routine, that control, becomes hardwired in their nervous system. There's a term for it, being institutionalized. But you don't have to be behind bars to experience this. The same conditioning comes through your phone, through screens, through headlines, through ads, through influencers. And now, with AI, it's not random anymore. Every scroll, every pause, every click is data. And that data is used to predict and shape what you'll do next. It's the same loop Dr. Joe Dispenza describes. Emotion and repetition wires your brain until the habit becomes part of your identity. Modern institutions don't need cells. They just need your attention. You're not in a prison. You're in a pattern, a loop, a trance, a hypnotic rhythm that keeps you asleep. You think you're choosing. You're being guided like cattle, not by whips, but by algorithms. More than a century ago, Wallace Wattles wrote something that echoes till today. Quote, "Every person has the power to think freely, but few ever do." Why? Because it's far easier to think the thoughts that are suggested by the world around us. End quote. He wasn't talking about smartphones or headlines or social media, but he didn't need to, because the method hasn't changed, only the packaging. Here's where he goes deeper. Quote, "To look upon the appearance of disease will form disease in your mind and eventually in your body, unless you hold the deeper truth that the reality is health. To look upon the appearance of poverty will create poverty in your mind, unless you choose to hold the image of abundance. He was describing how reality works. Because what you see becomes what you expect. What you expect becomes what you feel. And what you feel becomes your reality. It's the same truth Louise Hay etched in her teachings, that the body and the world are mirrors of the mind. What you hold inside, you project outside. And that's where most people stop, staring at the reflection, mistaking the mirror for reality. Wattles continues, to think beyond appearances, to hold the truth despite what you see, that takes power. And the one who develops that power becomes what he called a mastermind, one who can conquer fate. Yet Wattles knew the conquest isn't of the world, it's of the mind. He writes, the hardest work in the world is to hold your own thought of truth when everything around you shows the opposite. Why? Because it's easier to accept the images handed to you. Many turn away from this work. They numb themselves to avoid the mirror. To wake up is to face yourself. And most people would rather stay asleep. It takes strength to picture health when all you see is sickness. It takes discipline to picture abundance when things around you are falling apart. It's like a cafeteria line where the world gives you a tray, offering sickness, scarcity, fear, and shame. Most people take it without question. They consume what's placed before them, mistaking the menu for reality. They feed on the images their eyes see, and in time, those images begin to feed them, shaping their thoughts, their emotions, their very sense of what is possible. But you are not obligated to accept what is handed to you. You have the power, with mind, with awareness, with consciousness, to hold a deeper truth, even when the world reflects the opposite. It is to refuse the spoon-fed image and choose your inner vision. That's the power that rewrites reality. To see this more clearly, let's shift the view. Imagine your life as a train station, where every train leads to a different version of you. One where you're thriving, one where you're stuck, one where you're sick, one where you're lost. All of these trains are waiting at the platform right now. Not in the future, not someday, now. But the one you experience depends on the one you step onto. Science calls this the observer effect. At the smallest level, reality is made up of particles, tiny building blocks of energy. Each one can exist in many possible states at once, until it is observed. The moment you place your attention, the moment you decide what is real, reality collapses into form. Your focus chooses the path. Your awareness steps onto the train. That's exactly what Wattles was pointing to. That the image you hold in your mind is the track your life follows. It's not the glance of your eyes that binds you, but the images that repeat in your mind. Because what you hold in your consciousness becomes the train you board. This is exactly why Wallace Wattles gave his warning. Quote, "Do not think according to appearances, think according to truth." End quote. Because if you keep reacting to what you see, you will keep holding the same images in your mind and recreating the same loop again and again, and then wonder, why am I stuck? Why is my life chaotic? Why aren't things changing? The truth, nothing changes until your mind does. It's your thoughts, your emotions, your imagination. These are the blueprint of your perception. and perception is programmable. So the question is no longer, what am I experiencing in my world, but rather, what image am I holding in my mind? What reality am I choosing again and again? Because here's the part most people miss. You don't have to want it to be choosing it. Choice isn't only conscious. It happens in the shadows of your mind, in the beliefs you never thought to question, in the stories you replay without realizing it. The subconscious chooses what the conscious mind refuses to face. So yes, you may not have chosen it deliberately, but you have been choosing it through repetition, through what's familiar, through the image you keep returning to without even realizing you're returning to it. Because remember, you are not here to react to reality. You are here to create it. And conscious creation begins not with what you see with your eyes, but with what you see in your mind.